Hey guys, what's going on? BMcG here, and today I wanted to show off my newest rank 3, which is Anti-Venom. I actually recently just got this dude as a 6-star and took him straight to rank 3, basically because Absorbing Man exists and I wanted a really cool counter to him. I don't think Absorbing Man is like insanely hard on defense, but he's very punishing if you don't know what you're doing. I'm not trying to say like those who die to him don't know what they're doing, because on certain nodes he's going to be like insanely hard to counter. But I think Anti-Venom is my favorite counter by far because it's probably one of the most brainless counters. I don't have a 6-star rank 3 Sig 200 Void, so Anti-Venom was my choice. I also just don't have the Sigs to dump into a Void at the moment. Void is probably the best counter to Absorbing Man to exist right now. We'll get into that in a few, because after this solo of the Thronebreaker event quest Absorbing Man, I wanted to show you guys a couple fights on like other counters that I think are really good to Absorbing Man that you guys should try to look into using. But this Thronebreaker event quest node here, it really juices up the cruelty damage, or critical damage with the cruelty passive. So if you get hit in the block, like I did right here, it's a juicy hit. So yeah, it's just one thing you got to be aware of with this node. It's normally not that bad outside of this, although it can be pretty punishing. So the intended way to play against Absorbing Man is, in my opinion, to dance with him, which is to try not to block. You want to try to intercept. You want to try to use specials to counter him, punish his specials for openings, and that's pretty much what I like to do. I only prefer to knock him down after a special with a heavy attack to like get him out of his mode once he's refined. That'll vary case to case, but if I go right here and knock him down, he's no longer in any mode. So now he's going to have to throw 2 specials in a row to refine again, and you can kind of just slow play and dance around with him to prevent him from doing so. But with Anti-Venom here, I kind of want him to keep spamming his special 1 so I could keep that regen on him, and I could just keep dancing with him, keep getting him lower and lower and lower. And Absorbing Man's Sig, the less health he has, the more health he tries to regenerate. So as the fight goes on, he does more damage. It's pretty cool. So he's one of my favorite counters, but I don't think he's the best counter. Next up, we're going to show probably the most practical counter, in my opinion, which is Scorpion. You stay in your poison mode because you want direct damage here against Absorbing Man. Absorbing Man in his 2 states, he's got really high energy damage, energy resistance and physical resistance. In this mode, he has physical resistance. So the poison bypasses both those resistances because it's direct damage. So I like using Scorpion here because you can kind of play him more aggressively when the opponent has 5 out of 5 missed dispersion, like I'm using here in the duels. I'm using 5-star rank 1 champs against my 6-star rank 4 Absorbing Man. So it's just like a standard fight. Like you could tell by the PI difference, it's kind of like what you'd see in Battlegrounds, the difference in attacker to defender ratios. But here I am going to show you guys why I think Scorpion's like my favorite counter to him, or the most practical counter, because he's just generally useful for a lot of questing, and his heavy attack's great. And you guys will see here, after I land my special 2, I put the Petrify on him, and an Awakened Scorpion will regenerate the health denied up to a certain percent. So we are just regenerating this damage that Absorbing Man's taking from us, like canceling out his healing. And his Scorpion's heavy attack is so snappy that it's like really good to use to just knock down the opponent. And you could also charge it. Like I really enjoy Scorpion for this fight. Obviously it's going to vary node to node. So if he's placed on something where Scorpion can't take it, well then hey, Scorpion can't take it. But generic fights, Scorpion's going to be pretty good for Absorbing Man. Next up, we have Void, who I think is the best counter to Absorbing Man. On paper, he just has everything that counters him. He's got heal reversal as well as direct damage via his Sig, and then he also is Incinerate immune. So if Absorbing Man refines in his Magma mode, you have no worries about the Incinerate damage when you hit him, because you're incinerate immune. So Void's probably the best counter, but he's got no safety nets to, you know, block that damage other than inequity. So like if I get hit through the block while he's refined, there's a good chance the critical damage could be pretty massive, and I have pretty much nothing to reduce the damage he can do or regenerate the damage back. So that's why I think Scorpion's one of the more practical counters to him. But like you guys see, I knock him down after that special 2 there to get him out of that mode, because I just don't like him refining in Magma. I feel like it's easier to get him to just spam special 1s and reverse the regen that way. Right here, he's just holding block. This fight should have been a little bit quicker, but right here we let him refine and we drop our heavy attack, I believe. Yep. So now we don't have to worry about the critical damage through the block. We intercept here with our special 1. We get 2 petrifies on here after our special 1. Right there, I was kind of confused at what happened, but we're good. And then, you know, just full 5-hit combo and he's gone. So Void's probably the best counter to Absorbing Man right now. And then last up, Ant-Man, just to show you guys that Ant-Man is pretty useful. He's not the best counter to Absorbing Man by any means, but he's a good one because he's buff immune. So if you struggle with Mystic Dispersion, you don't really have to worry about it here because he's buff immune. So we punish the heavy attack there with, or punish the special with our heavy when he refines. So now we have quite some time before he can refine again, because he has to throw 2 straight specials. We're not giving him power via Mystic Dispersion. So you know, by the time he refines, there's a solid chance that we will be ready to, you know, break him down again and get rid of that refined state. So right here, we do it again and he's deactivated. So that's like the most brain dead way to play him, I guess. Buff immune champs are great against him. Champs like Titania, Spidey 99 might struggle a little bit because the special 1 activates the Uru form, which gives him the massive physical resistance. So it's going to gimp their damage quite a bit. But yeah, I think Ant-Man's pretty good here because the fatigues, I believe, reduce the chance for him to crit. The unsteady also glances, so he's really good. Like that damage there through the block didn't do much because the glancing. And yeah, he's also just buff immune. What else does he have? Ant-Man's got poison and shock immunity, I believe, so he's got some potential for like hazard shift lanes. He's also got Power Sting, which is another form of direct damage. And yeah, once we drop this special 2, which we will do in a second, it will convert those 12 fatigues into poison debuffs, and it's just gonna turn this fight into like this you know, dance off where we dex a lot and avoid him. Because once we get those on, as long as you keep pausing them by trying to activate buffs but you can't because you're immune, you pretty much have this fight under control. You can refresh the debuffs by intercepting or punishing his heavy attack, but like once you guys see like I got that special 2 off, it's like the fight's pretty much over with. So Ant-Man's one of my favorite counters as well, just because I like Ant-Man, he's fun to use. But yeah, those are my top 4 counters that I like personally. I think Void's the best. I think Scorpion's the most practical. I think Anti-Venom is one of the easiest to use. And then Ant-Man's fun. So if you guys enjoyed, hit like, sub if you're new. If you already subbed, you know I love you. See you guys for the next video or stream. Peace out.